Okay, so I've gotten that out of the way. Now I want to come back to the real point. This crisis is taking people on an emotional roller coaster. You got people who are literally were okay one day, and the next day their job is gone, their health insurance is gone, their retirement package that they've been saving up, their 401k, they've watched that go through the floor. I mean, this is all kinds of stuff that is happening that makes you want to react in a negative way. It makes you want to, just lash out because you want something to be right in the midst of everything going wrong. And you feel completely taken aback that this is so unfair, that this came from out of nowhere, seemingly coming from out of nowhere, but there was evidence long before we all were shut down at home that this was a real bad thing that was coming to us. But nonetheless, it feels completely unfair that young, healthy people are getting the virus and getting sick and then dying. It's completely unfair that our seniors are being put in health situations that they can't come back from. It seems very unfair that our nation's healthcare workers, our doctors, our nurses, our patient care techs, the environmental service workers who clean the hospital rooms are being put in a situation that they got to do a monumental job, but yet they don't have any personal protective equipment or not enough personal protective equipment. And we're wondering, how do we get to the place where we don't have enough basic supplies? Also, we have a whole nother context around that when you are hospitalized, we don't have enough equipment, ventilators, and negative pressure rooms where people can get better in that environment. So we all feel the strain of this unfair situation that our nation, our families, our businesses, our small businesses, entrepreneurs, restaurant businesses are all being put in. It feels completely unfair. But I want you to know something. I want you to know that we are going to get through this together. And how we're going to get through this together is part of what I want to share tonight in the 7 things that you need to know in the midst of this crisis. So let's jump right into them. I'm going to make it simple for you. If you got a notepad or a pen or something that you can write this down on, you might want to do that, because it's going to be some simple stuff, but there's going to be some complex things that you're going to need to do after this session is over with. And I hope you take advantage of it. I hope you follow up on it. I hope you actually do the work that is required, because it's one thing for me to give information, but information means nothing without application. So it's going to be up to you to apply what I give to you in this time. So ready or not, the future is coming. Our lives post-COVID-19 is coming. So that's why I called this session Ready or Not, and started with Lauryn Hill's famous record, Ready or Not. Well, actually, it's the Fugees record, Ready or Not, but Lauryn Hill's the one singing the hook. So here's what I want to start with. They all start with the letter R. I want you to write down the following words: recognize, resolve, resilience, response, retool, reimagine, and reform. Again, I'm going to give them to you again. Recognize, resolve, response, resilience, retool, reimagine, and reform. The reason why I'm giving you those words, because I want you to understand that those words will be symbolic frameworks for everything that I share tonight, and what I think what we all need to be doing right now in the middle of this crisis. And so let's start with recognize. Number one, we need to recognize that this is real. This crisis that we're in is real. It's not going to last 2 weeks. It's not going to last 18 days. It's not going to last 30 days. It is going to be with us for a long time. I literally just heard the president say in a press briefing that April 30th is when he's pushing back all of the stay quarantined till April 30th. Well, it's not even April 1st yet. So it's not an April Fool's joke. That's at least 30 more days. But in that same press briefing, the president said something about June. Yes, that's right, June. And I want you to wrap your mind around that this is real and is going to be with us for a long time. And I want you to recognize that it could be June or July before any sense of normalcy comes back to your life, comes back to your work, And the reason why I want you to recognize that, because the earlier that you recognize that this is a new normal, that this is a different normal, the more you can start to prepare yourself for what do you have to do to not just survive in this time, but to actually thrive in this time. You can't just survive. You literally have to thrive during this time. And so you can't have the mindset that I got to get through this, or I'm going to do my best to just try to survive this. No, you got to thrive. So the first way you thrive is you have to recognize the realness about this situation. From a health standpoint, from an economic standpoint, from a social distancing standpoint, from a community standpoint, from a political standpoint, you have to recognize that this is real. Recognize that it's real. That's all I want you to do. It's to recognize that this is real and prepare yourself accordingly. Prepare yourself accordingly.